Welcome to General Coffee State Park, located in Nicholls, Georgia. It's 6 miles east of Douglas, Georgia. When you come through the entrance and check in, the Heritage Farm is off to the right. There's chickens, goats, turkeys, ducks, and a few other animals, as well as a neat museum and a lot of helpful volunteers to give you the history of the area. There's also a fishing pond and a 17-mile river just down the path. There are several group shelters and playgrounds throughout the state park. The first one is just down the road from the Heritage Farm. And the second one is down by the archery range. As you drive down the main road, there's trails off to the right-hand side throughout the whole state park. Make a very nice hike. The second group shelter area and playground is off to the right, as well as the archery range. I don't know if the targets are seasonal, but they usually have targets set up, and you can see the designated area. All the campsites at General Coffee are water and electric only, but there's one dump station. But the nice thing about it is it has 2 lanes, so it helps out on those high checkout days. There's 2 loops for campsites. The first loop is sites 1 through 25. The road is not paved, it's gravel, a little bit uneven, but it's not too bad to get through. All the sites are very spacious and they look to be all pull through. There's also equestrian camping on the other side of the state park, as well as 2 pioneer sites at the end of the main road through the campground. There's a nice playground that's right between the 2 loops that connects the 2 with a path, so you can go in between the camping loops 1 through 25 and 26 through 50 through the little path that connects by the park. When you make your reservation online, it'll tell you what sites are 30 amp only or 50 amp, but there's quite a few 50 amp sites, with the 50 amp sites, they also have a 30 amp plug and then 120 receptacles for your extension cords. As we exit the first loop and we turn right, you'll see a sign that says dead end. The road dead ends at the Pioneer campsites, but there's plenty of room between this loop and the next loop to get your camper around, so you won't get stuck. And if you pass the first loop, you can just drive around the second loop and go back to the first loop if that's where your campsite is. There's a trash dumpster at the beginning of loop 2. I don't think there's a receptacle for recycling. I just saw the one dumpster when we were there. This is the second loop for sites 26 to 50. The first site to the right is the camp host, and there's a camp host in the other loop. Both the bathhouses are right in the center of each of the loop. We stayed in the second loop, and that bathhouse was really nice and kept clean. We didn't go into the second loop's, or rather the first loop's bathhouse. The main difference between the first loop of campsites and the second loop of campsites is this road is paved, and it's a bit more even and level. But these are also pull-through sites. We have a 35-foot fifth wheel, and at no time did we feel that there was any hard to navigate around parts of the road, either coming in or in the campground. So if your camper is 35 feet long or less, you should have no problem. And I imagine going a bit longer wouldn't be an issue either. We had plenty of room maneuvering.